afternoon, everyone. I'm Cynthia Sanchez, one of the librarians here at Palo Alto College. I want to welcome you to our session. I apologize that I am on off camera. I just got the unstable prompt, so my apologies for that. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our lovely librarian team. Tosca Gonzalez will be presenting today, and she is our lead technical and e-resources librarian. Linda Plevak, she is our lead access services librarian, and myself, I am the lead reference and instruction librarian. So we look forward to sharing all of the new things that we have happening in our library this semester. So I'll get started with the things we're going to cover today. So first of all, we're going to talk about our hours, and I just want to mention that briefly because that still kind of is in flux. We are in the process of determining what our hours are going to be for the fall, but for the first 2 weeks of class through September 6th, I just want to mention that Mondays, we are on campus 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we are available virtually 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we are available virtually 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Thursdays, we are on campus 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and virtually 8 a.m. to 7. And on Fridays, we are available virtually 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we're closed Saturdays and Sundays. And again, that is for the first 2 weeks of class through September 6th. And we will update our library homepage with the finalized hours for the semester. And again, keep in mind things are subject to change as we progress through this interesting Delta, Lambda, and whatever else we get through. So thank you for your patience. In addition, today we're going to talk about updates in our e-resources and tools that are available. We're going to discuss updates to our circulation services as well as our library instruction and reference. So we'll go ahead and get started. I will stop my share and introduce Tosca.
All right. And I will start with a slide. I'm hoping to do most of this live, although I have more slides in case I either run out of time or things get really slow. So there are lots and lots of stuff I'm very eager to share, but once I started preparing, I realized I would not be able to share everything. So I'm going to dive fairly deep into films on demand as an example of what our e-resources allow you to do as an instructor. And then I'll also show off the new interface of the Palomino search, which is what we call our discovery tool. The discovery is a name given to all these tools in libraries where you have one search box that searches not only the traditional book catalog, but most of the e-resources as well at the same time. So kind of like a Google for libraries. Then I'll also highlight why you sometimes want or need to visit the e-resources directly, like one particular database. Then I'll go into the films of demand and I'll say a little bit about LTIs, which are learning tools interoperability is what that stands for. And basically they are tools that make it possible for two platforms to work together. In this particular case, the focus is on having e-resources and other library resources in Canvas. That's only starting to happen, so there's not too much to say about that. And before I go live, if you're not familiar with this screen, maybe you're new, this is the screen that you will get, you and your students, if you are accessing our resources from off campus, which right now everybody is. You have to fill in your ACES ID and your banner ID number. Most of us are very used to going into ACES and using the password. Even I do that sometimes, and then it tells you that you can't be found. Don't panic. The first thing to check when you get the prompt that you can't be found is what did you use? Did you use your ACES password or did you use your better number? If you are a adjunct or have an adjunct colleague that maybe says, I can't log in, or a student, but especially adjunct instructors and high school students, we sometimes have a problem that they, for lack of a better term, fall off the permissions list. There's a list of all the login data for everybody who belongs to PAC, and there's another one for SAC, etc. And that determines that you can have access to the e-resources. If you teach at more than one college, make sure that you use the credentials for that college. Well, it's not going to be the same in most cases, but even if, say, for instance, all 5 college libraries subscribe to Academic Search Complete, which is an article database, but our connection to it is separate because we are independent and we have separate statistics. And so if you want to assign your students an article, or if you were to use an LTI or something, you have to do it separately for each of those. Otherwise, they can't get it. All right, so now we shall go to, all right. If I did this correctly, you should be, I don't see it yet. Do you see my library homepage? Not
Yes.
yet? Yes or not?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Remember. Okay. So the Palomino search is right front and center on our homepage. And if I do a shared search here, if you've used this before, you will immediately notice that something has changed, and this is not supposed to happen. Oh, here we go. Okay. If you haven't used it before, then it doesn't matter to you. But as you can see, if you've used it before, it's been cleaned up a little bit. Some things have changed. One of the things that they have done is added a chat with the librarian button. And if you scroll on the page, it stays in place. So it's always visible. So if you or your students need help, you can always click on that and chat with us. They have taken away the email button and incorporated it in the share. So you can either copy a link to send to somebody or send a direct email. You or your students can also sign in, which will take you to ACES. You sign in and then it takes you back. And that allows you to save items. You can create a list of items that you may have. And students can create a list for a project and share resources because they can then email it to them. And we show that to them in our classes, but it's good for you to be aware of that as well. What if you, this button on the side that indicates how to get to the book also stays on the page, even if you scroll down. Well, not quite that far. It's a bigger panel than before, so you would have to go back here if you want to go back to the search results and see all of them at once, or use the facets, and you can move to the next one over here. One thing that I'm not too happy with is that the links, if there's more than one link for a resource, is all the way over here. And this is important because sometimes if one link doesn't work and we have more than one source for this resource, you can try another one. The other thing is this report a broken link. When you do that, there's a form and the email comes directly to me. In 99% of cases, I can help you or your students find the article that you're looking for. So it is very important that everybody knows that that is there, because I can help you and you help us, because with probably over 1 million resources, there's no way I can check every day to make sure that everything is working. So this way I know whether I have to report a problem or not. Now, sometimes it is better to go to an e-resource directly. And so we have a link here to search a specific database where we have them listed by topic or alphabetical. There are some resources that do not play well with the Palomino search, so they're not included. Sometimes they're not really article databases. And the streaming video databases in particular update very frequently, but don't always update as quickly in the Palomino search. So if you want to find the newest movie, it's best to go directly there. And then there are some of the features, like what I'm going to show in Films on Demand, you will not be able to access, at least not initially, from the Palomino search. Then it's better to go to the database directly. Most resources allow you to create a personal account. It is usually not required. There's some exceptions. Canopy does not require it, but if you use it on a mobile device, then it does. But for other resources, like Films on Demand, it can be very useful because it allows you, for instance, to create playlists or clips. And both students and instructors can create playlists or clips that they can use in presentations. So when you sign up, and this is very important, form will come up here, make sure you indicate that you are a teacher, because it gives you some options that you otherwise won't have. In addition, you can check here, select a topic, and then you get a little newsletter, and it tells you when there's new movies coming to our subscription. So that is also very helpful. Okay. It's getting confused, I guess, with the fact that I was trying to create an account. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't know what it is. I have more than one, so let me. No. All right, this is not going well. Let's see.
Just re-put in your password. I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
No?
I don't know. I was there all morning, so let's go just back to the slides because in the meantime, time is starting to run out on me. All right. So I already showed this. And this is so when you create an account. When you have an account as a teacher and you click on the little My Account, you can see you have a link to your content, which is what you see here in the background, which is material that I've already created. And you can have courses. If you click on the course, then you can create a course or use one that you already have. One thing that's not quite as user-friendly is that you have to invite your students, and each student will also have to create an account. The same thing goes with the quizzes, but it's, there are advantages if you sell it to them that they can use clips in presentations. I don't think they will mind. So this is the link that they would get. I'm supposing this is what the interface looks, and you may have seen this before. Looks a lot like YouTube. One thing, once you're signed in as an instructor, you have an option here for quiz, where you can create a quiz. In addition, some movies have segments already pre-selected, and most of them in Films of Demand will have a transcript. And that's the case with the other streaming videos as well, which is very handy if you're looking for a particular topic within a longer video. You can share the video, add it to a playlist. There's a citation aid, and you can create segments. For those, you need an account. So if you do share, you can email, or you can embed the link, just copy it. You can use this embed code in Canvas. The LTI link is really for situations where you cannot put in an HTML link, and that's not the case with our Canvas, so you can ignore that. If you use it, it'll probably not work very well. So then, as I said, both you and your students can create segments. You set a start time by either playing, or if you remember where you stopped. You can create a thumbnail and a title, and then you create the segment, which you can then, here it is, you can add it to either a playlist, and this is the same thing that comes up, so you could also add the full title or all segments, or you can create a new playlist, or you can add it to a course. And then this is about how to create the quizzes, because that's the most new thing. Alexander Street, also called Academic Video Online, is our other large streaming video provider. They also allow you to create segments, but they don't allow you to create playlists anymore since their new interface. In the case of Canopy, you can create segments. I'm not sure whether they do playlists. They're a little bit more limited still in what they allow you to do. So here's a very short video, and I created a quiz. So you hit on quiz, give it a title, save that title, and then it walks you through how to do it. So first you go to the point where you want to insert a question. You select what type of question you want to do. And so here I have one. It's normal for puppies to chew. It's a true and false. And then here I created several more. You have some options on what you can do with the quiz. And then you can email it to a student or add it to a course or a link. When the student receives the link and opens it up, this is what it looks like. and there'll be stopping points where there is a question. The student will not be able to forward the video. So if you want the students to see watch the whole video, you better put a question all the way at the end if this is going to be your control. And so here, this is how the question would come up, and the student answers and then can go on. And at the end, if the questions are completed, they fill in their name and they submit the quiz. And that's basically how the quizzes work. Now, LTI course items in Canvas, is everybody familiar with the library LTI? That's the first one that all the colleges were able to successfully add to our Canvas. Have to move this bar. What?
Elizabeth shared in the chat that she's says it's easy to add. She's
Okay.
used to it.
Yeah.
Linda, you're still on chat, muted. But one
Muted.
of-
Yeah, I just
yeah,
said
one
I'm going to send it out as a reminder as a liaison. Thank you.
Okay. So
yeah,
you
it's
go
really great for
from the
students to research.
settings.
Sorry.
You can add it from the settings, and then it takes you straight into a library guide with all the information, and students can search from there. If you teach biology or chemistry, you'll be familiar with Jove, and District has added Jove as a LTI. So you can, if you have an account, you can add that to your classes. And the advantage is that you can then search for something to embed straight from Canvas. You can do the same thing with Films on Demand and Alexander Street, but you have to contact me for the secret key. I'm working with District to make it just as seamless as the library and Jove, but it has to be done per vendor, and it's going to take a little bit of time before we get all of that. And so basically I'm out of time, and I don't want to impose on my colleagues. So does anybody have a quick question?
Sabra also shared in the chat that she uses it in Canvas for her art appreciation class, and it was very useful.
Okay. All right. I hope this will be helpful. It's very quick, but you can always contact me with any questions and issues that come up. So I'll stop sharing now.
All right. Hi, I'm Linda Plavak. I will begin with my screen on, but we'll see. I probably will have to turn it off just to make sure that I have enough bandwidth. So my first question to you as I bring this up is I'm going to talk about our citation tool called Noodle Tools. So how many of you, come on, from the beginning. How many of you, when either yourself or with your students, how many, and just, I was going to do a poll, but we can just do it informally in chat. How many of you, when you give an assignment that has a citation, get back perfect citations from your students? Just a quick poll. Y'all can just put in chat if you get a perfect citation. How many of you get like 70% right?
In chats, I'm getting no's, not often.
How many would definitely like an improvement in that area? You do your thumbs up on that one or thumbs down. Well, Noodle Tools to the rescue. So our Noodle Tools, and you may have seen this in your class. However, I want to point out two things. One is that things have changed. We already have another MLA edition, a new edition, and things have changed within Noodle Tools itself. So I'll be showing you a few things. The good news is you do not have to remember all of this. As I have down there below, and when I'm done here, I will send out that URL. We have a Noodle Tools LibGuide created by Tosca and myself. It has a little bit of a tutorial in there, has the link. But we would love to also come and share this with your students, and that may be the best way to show them how to get a Noodle Tools account. So Noodle Tools shows you how to do MLA 9th edition, EPA 7th edition, and the very popular Chicago Turabian edition. And so I'm going to show you, I'm going to be daring and go live and show you how to do it. First thing I'll go live and then I'll show you what, I have one more slide to show you on how to things in Noodle Tools. Oops, now let me see. No, let me go back to it. Okay. And hold on. Oh. What I did is I actually logged, so this is what you're going to get to Noodle Tools. And I went to the area, in fact, I've already logged in. So what you would get is the first thing you're going to get is you're going to get a login. It's going to be Alamo Colleges. So that's the first one. I already went past that screen. So you got to authenticate because it's our subscription. Then once you're in, you're going to create a username and password, and that's whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to do this and get into my Noodle Tools account. Okay, as you see, I've been authenticated. You are going to create an account, and that's fairly straightforward. Again, making sure that you say you're an instructor. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. We're happy to assist you should you have any problems creating an account. So this is actually my Noodle Tools account. I have many more projects. They've kind of archived anything pre-2021. So I could actually pull this down and get other bibliographies. And I'm just going to kind of walk through creating a new project and then add just show you how to add one or two citations very briefly. And again, don't have to remember all this because you can go back to it and play with it, or I'll be happy to come and show you and your students how to do it. But basically, you're going to start over here with a new project, the green button on the side, and then you enter your project title. So I'm going to do one today. I'm going to do art appreciation. And so you can determine your style. I'm going to do MLA 9th, then I'm going to do advanced. Okay, so then I submit. So when I create a new project, it's basically up there, and then it gives me lots and lots of options. I'm going to go to the one I actually created earlier, which is APA. I'm switching to APA. And I'm going to open it up because I want to show you all the little cool features. So you can add sources, okay? You can also do note cards. You can do a to-do list. If I click on to-do, it shows, a student can do, okay, I need to do my research today, blah, blah, blah. And then it actually gives you a checklist to do that. Teacher can send links. You can share between students. You can do a thesis statement. So you always are remembering your thesis statement. So it's really way more than just a citation tool. And I really wanted to point that out. So when you get your new project, you'll actually see just a blank screen like this. It's not going to have anything. And your new source is going to be always up in that right-hand corner. It's a little not intuitive. I mean, you want to me, if I see citation, I'm going to want to click here. It's actually new source over here. Okay, so I can click new source here, Or here's another really cool thing. And this is what I'm going to show you first. So I can also do this. I can open up my Noodle Tools, go into one of the databases. And in this case, I'm in a Gale database. Okay. Important because I know Gale does this. And then I can do a search. So I went to Gale one file ahead of time. All right. And I'm going to, again, do a butterfly, swallowtail butterflies I'm going to look for because that's what my topic is. Butterfly. And so it's giving me all these cool searches. I can narrow down to full text, etc. And I've decided I'm going to talk about the virtual butterflies. I'm going to talk about winged light. That sounds good. Okay, article, peer-reviewed. That's what I want to look at. Okay, so I look at this one. It's in Nature, and oh yeah, this is great. I wanted to talk about the bioluminescence and the photons. This article fits. Here's the cool thing. I can come down here and gives me the source citation. If you notice, the very first thing is you can export to Noodle Tools. So I'm going to actually click on the little Noodle Tools icon. Gives me this here. So say there, I see something that's not quite right in there. Maybe my teacher doesn't want the access date. So I can actually move that. Basically, it says I see an error. I'll make these changes. I'm going to take it and make those changes. I'm just going to leave it as it is for now, for time. And then I can import it. And then I just have to pick my particular one. So I'm going to import the references. Okay. So there we go. All right. So now if I go back to my Noodle Tools, I go back to my sources. I'm going to go back to first I have to go back to my projects because I put it in the swallowtail one. Go back to my swallowtail butterflies. And there is one that I just added, winged light. And it says, note, this was exported from a database. So it immediately tells me that, okay? So that, again, you always have to check. And in fact, I went ahead and already added another one from a database, but I did it manually. So I'm going to show you that one. I don't need to do a search again. You all know how to search in the databases. In this case, this is one of the ones that I did last evening. I'm going to open this up to edit. So once I get it in here, I can edit it. So here is the actual source, and it even tells me not to include things. It says, hey, do not include database information in the source. So in this case, I go, oh, okay, then I really don't need that. Then I can X out of that and leave that empty. I don't need the URL. I can take out the URL. It's actually prompting me for that. And that's why I left this one. I actually cut and paste from the database all of the information. I purposely left this one as it was, and Caleb was capitalized. So if you it gives you a little error message when you add it. And if I click on this, it's going to tell me exactly what the error is. It's going to say, hey, yeah, there we go. Keep this citation manually. It's going to tell me that error is actually needs to be lowercase. Whoops, come on, go back. Switch, there we go. My field to field format. Hold on. Go back there. And I'm editing. Edit. It tells me that I basically have errors. So I'm going to, here it is. Check to be sure Caleb is capitalized correctly. It's not. We know that. It should be C-A-L-E-B, okay? And once I do that, a little error message goes away. And whoops. There we go. I think that was how I spelled his name. Okay. So again, it'll give me that information in the title also. Pipevines, and unless it's a capital word, which actually it's a species, so I might leave pipevines. It just kind of depends. But it'll tell me what to do. Gives me space for page pages, gives me the journal that I actually put this in yesterday, all that information. I actually was able to add an annotation down here, which I just cheated and took the abstract. Of course, we don't want your students to do that. And then we want to save at the bottom, just save the citation. And so now it's going to be corrected somewhat. Again, I'm doing this quick and dirty. I just wanted to show you. So if I was adding it from the very beginning, I'm going to click on new source here. And what it gives me is it gives me options up here and basically walks your student through it. So basically, if they have a database, it gives you all of these options, which is great on even the government documents and websites. Gives you blogs, gives you emails, wikis, everything, cartoon or comic strip. Really hard things. They're even hard for me to be able to know how to cite these. Printer, view or heard online if they're listening to NPR. So I'm going to show you the one that's usual, and that's going to be one of these, of course. Database, if you go to the journal, and again, it's going to give you, you can quick copy and paste the citation, or you can manually add all of the information. And it's kind of nice because, again, it prompts you for all of that. Okay. Now, the best part is when they're done. So now they have all of their citations. You've asked them to do 3 citations, and they have their 3 citations, or maybe 6. They can actually tag them with secondary, primary, tertiary. They can show their note cards. Some of them, if you have attachments, they can show attachments. I had, can attach things. Basically, if you want to include them, all you need to do is to come up here to the top and do the export print button. And you can export it. There's all sorts of places you can, but I'm going to do mine to Word. It's going to ask, do you want your primary ones? Do you want all of them? You get, again, options, options, options. I'm going to take them all. I'm going to submit it. And then I will have to stop share. This is much more fun in person because it just pops right up there on the screen, but I have to stop share and then share again. Okay, hold on.
Saber has a question. Is Noodle Tools free for faculty and students?
Yeah, well, free, yes, because we pay for this subscription. So yes, indeed, it is. So yes, we are paying for this, and so it's just like one of the databases. So I'm going to share now. There we go. Hold on. Bring this back up. And share screen, and it's this one, and it's going to give you this it's referring to other files, etc. I just want to show you. You might get that message. You just say yes, and then da 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 da, voila. And what I wanted to share about this is, notice it's APA, so it immediately puts references up there. It immediately puts the page number here. It's in Word now, so it's perfectly editable. I can take out that URL if I want. Okay. Also, here's my link. Also, it italicized. Okay, do you see the other things that it's doing? I should just ask y'all. See everything that it's doing for you? It indented, double spaced. It's near as perfect as you can possibly get if you put in everything and listen to all those little error messages. So So what do you think of this tool?
I love it. Does it happen to have, I missed it, does it have an in-text citation option so that they can copy that too?
It does not, like actually if you're writing, it doesn't really have like an in-text thing, but again, once they'll have this information, hopefully it'll be, if it's alphabetical and they're working from there, that will help them do their in-text citations. I know what you're talking, is that what I'm understanding? Like as they're writing their papers?
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
you know, as an example.
Yeah. No, this is actually just going to do the citation at the bottom, other than, but wait, having said that, but wait, there's more. There is,
I bet that comes up when you do your notes, if you use the note cards.
that's what I was going to say. There is, with their note cards and such, it's very possible that could be an option. So I'd have to play with it a little more. I'll try to figure that out. The title of this note card, capture, get quotes. So there, it does, and the nice thing too is it isn't just a plain old blank note card. It tells you it gives you a couple of hints here too. Direct quotation that maybe they wanted to, so in that way, or explain it in your own words. So in some ways it tells you the page number and whatever. I'm hoping students will use this in that way. Again, they don't have to use the note cards. They don't have to do the thesis statement or research question. It's just something else. And they can, again, actually share with other students in Noodle Tools, and they can actually share with their teacher if they would like. So yeah. So when you're going to the actual projects, here's the sharing options over here too. So yeah. So that's helpful too. You can share, you can say I'm sharing with, and then here you can rename, add attachments, copy, delete. You can even change the style if you decide to change the style. Add comments. So it's pretty handy. Any questions? One of the things you will kind of want to do is you will want to log out, sign out if you're on a computer, because I don't believe it signs you out automatically. So I'm going to leave this up here.
On a shared computer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it up just in case there are other questions, but go back to my PowerPoint. So just in review, if we were students, I'll say, what does Noodle Tools do? I'm not going to do that to you. But just as go ahead.
I looked it up. I did a Google create in-text citations in Noodle Tools, and there is, let me put the instructions
option. Sweet.
Yes.
Yay,
so
Tosca.
it is a possibility. The other thing that Linda had in her example, her 3 sources were already in perfect alphabetical order, as it would be for a librarian. But if they're not, and you export them to print, it will create the alphabetical order with the hanging indents and all that. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, I just have, no, actually, it was still random. It just happened that 3 things I picked were in that order. Yeah, it's actually random. And there's a way, actually, now that you mention it, Jessica, there's a way that you actually sort it right there in Noodle Tools too, alphabetically now. Yeah. So either or. I am going to, in the chat, hold on. I'm bouncing all over the place here. Okay. Going back to there we go. In the chat, there we go. I am actually putting our little LibGuides Noodle Tools. You can actually embed that in your class if you wanted to, or share that with your students. And whoops, everybody, there we go. And yeah, there we go. And
there's also a tab in the library guide that's in Canvas. There's a special
for the
tab
Noodle
just
Tools.
for Noodle Tools. So
Yeah, so that
it
you
goes
can do
to that guide basically, but it's right there.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to my, going to go back to my sharing my PowerPoint. I'm just going to show you one more thing, and I have one more want to share with you. So there we go. I'm going to share. Come on, share screen. Okay, so just briefly again, thesis, annotations, note cards, to-do list, sharing projects. It's a very powerful tool, and you can use as much or as little as you want. Okay, so next, come on, next. So the last thing, anybody else have any questions about Noodle Tools? Okay. So the only other thing I wanted to share very briefly is, again, access services is the circulation and all the wonderful things that go with that. I wanted to announce that we will have our course reserves open. Again, that's dependent on if we're open and there. Right now we're there on Monday and Thursday. But we are available for interlibrary loan, both for articles, which can get delivered straight to your inbox, or if we're there face-to-face, we can actually get you books and other materials, videos and such, if you should need them. The problem with interlibrary loan is obvious, but I'll share it anyway. Not all the libraries are open. Not all of them are doing interlibrary loan, but we're slowly moving back. So you just have to be patient, and you have to make sure that you give enough time for the physical items. That's a real piece. So just to be aware of that. We do have TechShare cards, which is very useful if you all haven't ever done that. We basically issue you a card. That's a paper card that you can take to other libraries, such as Trinity, UTSA, San Antonio Public, or the other area libraries, and you're able to check out some items. Again, not everybody's doing that right now because of limited being open. Most libraries are getting back to that. So you should be able to do that if you should need something from another library quickly and you don't want to wait for interlibrary loan, which is, by the way, a free service to you. We cover the shipping costs, so take advantage of that. And then also right now we're pretty much just having people sit in the open areas to study. We do have, we are open for study space, and we do have study rooms. On a limited basis, we might start using the study rooms. It just really depends on everything else. So it is available for your students. Right now, we don't have the PAC zone open, and we, hopefully we'll be able to gradually open that. The big thing I want to mention that I really want to share is that we have a very limited staffing level. And just over the summer, what things that have happened, Robert, our cataloger, if y'all knew Robert J., he actually retired. So we have somebody kind of helping out in that area. But meanwhile, Blanca, who was our part-timer, moved to Salem, Massachusetts. And Elise took a job at, her full-time library assistant, took a job at NBC. So she just started there this week. So that means we are at really limited staffing levels. Really, really limited. It's kind of Shelby and I in that department with lots of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful helps from the librarians and even Dean Mesa and possibly our administrative assistant. And why I mention that is if you come in the library, if you call, if you're asking for a service, patience, patience, patience. Somebody might not have been checking out books for a long time or may not know where something is. They may have to go ask somebody. I know you guys are great. I just want you to, wish us luck that we're going to fill the positions. We had one already on the way. Hopefully we'll get the others soon, but just wanted to let you know that our staffing levels are limited, and that's another reason why we're not open. But I'm okay with you saying to the administration, hey, the library's not open very much. Just understand that that's because we don't have the staffing. So yeah. No, Sabra, you shouldn't have to pay for your you shouldn't have to pay for Noodle Tools.
Yeah, we
at all.
answered that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right,
yeah, and again,
Cynthia.
just one more thing is just to remind you that we're here to teach your classes. And if you just want us to just come show them Noodle Tools, we're happy to do that. Yeah, right, Cynthia.
Thanks, Linda. We are past time, so I will just do my presentation. For those of you who can stick around, I'll just move quickly through the PowerPoint and not go live just to give you some information, but I will share the links in the chat. As a reminder, I'm just here. I'm excited to let you know about updates to our instruction. We will be doing face-to-face instruction contingent on any COVID protocols. As many of you are aware, we provide instruction upon a faculty request. We provide, our instruction is can be just a general overview of the library resources and basic searching, or we can customize the instruction to a specific class or assignment. Or a specific topic. For the fall semester, as I mentioned, we will do face-to-face. We'll offer face-to-face in the classroom. We will also offer virtual through Zoom. And we also now will be able to offer recordings. So we can make recordings of a presentation of a session. And these can be used in synchronous classes, but they will be particularly beneficial to asynchronous classes so that you could upload the recording and the students can have access to it. In addition to the instruction, we can provide support through our library guides. These guides contain library and other research resources for the students. The library guides are requested with the library instruction classes. If you would like a library guide without library instruction class, if you don't have time to have a class, you can work with us. You can contact your library liaison. We all are liaisons to several departments. You can contact your library liaison and I will show you where to do that in a bit. And you can work on creating a guide to your class. In regards to requesting instruction, we have a form, and I will share all of these links in the chat. A form that you must fill out. It is on our library homepage. Please fill out the information there. We ask that you please, as Linda noted, in regards to staffing, the part-time librarians have been cut back to 15 hours from 19 hours, so we are stretched to the limit as well for our service desk coverage with our librarians. And so at least 2 weeks, please, at least 2 weeks when you are requesting instruction before the instruction desired date. Okay, here is our faculty library guide. This contains an overview of all of the resources. It has how-tos in it. Again, I will share this link in just a moment. We have how-tos on how to embed content in Canvas, instruction info. We have the reserves forms, so you can place materials on reserves. So that is one of our library guides again, and I will show you that. I'll share that link with you. It's also on our library guides homepage. Just look under faculty. Also, library information literacy modules is another option for instruction. Many of you have utilized these before. They are a set of modules that contain tutorials and videos and a small quiz at the end of each module. Each module covers a specific topic in information literacy, everything from basic search techniques to citation to how to present information. These modules are not for credit, but sometimes instructors offer them for credit as part of their class. When the student takes the quiz, they're given a score sheet on their score for that quiz, and that could be used as proof of completion of a module because that can be emailed directly from the module system to the professor. Okay, something new that we started in the spring, some of you may have heard of it already, it's our Book a Librarian appointments. We are offering a one-on-one appointment for students, faculty, and staff. It's a 50-minute appointment. You can schedule it using our library guides home page for Book a Librarian. There's a link there. Right now, because of staffing shortages, again, we don't have set hours, but you can check the availability of a librarian by clicking on the schedule appointment, and you will see who is available and when. These appointments are currently just virtual, but we plan to have them virtual and in person once we situate what our library hours are going to be, but it is a one-on-one research assistance. So this is a wonderful tool for our students, but also faculty or staff who are pursuing a degree. We'll be happy to help you as well. And just a reminder, our library reference services, when we are on campus, we will have the reference desk. As you can see here, we have plenty of plexiglass to protect the safety of our students and our staff. We are also available virtually, chat, email. You can call us. We have a text option during our opening hours. If we receive your text after opening hours, we will respond to it the next business day. We have a new set of FAQs, which answer and address a lot of the general questions that students have. And we have, our Book a Librarian appointments. One thing I wanted to mention about Book a Librarian, in the past, when we just started the service, I sometimes received library instruction requests in this because, of course, it can be a little confusing if you say book a librarian. Sure, I'm going to book one for my class, but this is for the one-on-one appointments. The library instruction form is for the actual instruction classes. And all of our contact and information and reference information is on our library homepage, and here it is at the very bottom of the page. And so I'm sorry to have moved to that quickly. I know we ran out of time. So do you have any questions or comments for us? And here is our contact information.
I put all the links in the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you all for all of your support. We so appreciate it, and we're here for you. You know that.
Yes, and thank you always for utilizing our services. We are here to help. We will do whatever we can.
Okay.
Okay, we'll hope to see you soon.
Yes. Any questions or comments? I'll be happy to stay on a little bit longer if anybody has any questions, need some assistance.